Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to talk about the Ram 1500 EcoDiesel. Now the new EcoDiesel, the 2020 version, has changes in it from the classic Ram diesel. If you remember in the past, Dodge Ram diesel pickup, now they just call them Ram, they changed the name, what's in the name, but it came with a very reliable Cummins straight 6-cylinder diesel engine. And yeah, it didn't put out a lot of horsepower, 160 of them to be exact. They were extremely reliable diesel engines, and they were a straight 6. They deliberately put a straight 6 in for ease of maintenance. There was lots of room to working on them. When they did finally break down, they were easy to work on. I'm not a Chrysler fan by any stretch of the imagination, but those early pickups that had the straight 6-cylinder diesel engine, I had customers drive those things 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles, and the engines and trannies were still going strong. They started making it bigger and bigger. Now they got a 6.7 liter diesel. You can still get them in the 3500s and stuff, but the EcoDiesel and the new ones, that's a completely different animal. The EcoDiesel that they're all advertising now as their big savior, power and gas mileage, is a V6 diesel, but an engine is made in Italy. It's an Italian engine. It's paired with a ZF transmission. Now the ZF ones, it's a German design company, but they're not made in Germany. To me, this changing around of stuff all the time, it's very symptomatic of problematical companies. You got the early diesels, then they tried Aisin transmissions, and now they're using the ZF transmissions. It's like they can't make their mind up which company they want making their transmissions. They're not even making their own transmissions, they're buying it from somebody else. If they're going to do that, they'd stick to some manufacturer and have them perfect them. An example of that is Toyota and Nippon Denso. Toyota's pretty much all used Nippon Denso air conditioning compressors. Over the years, they've always bought them from Nippon Denso. They don't say, oh, gee, we'll buy them from one company, then another company, then another company. As an example, if you go over decades, Honda's bought their air conditioning compressors from various different companies. Sanden, Nippon Denso, lots of different companies. And they've had a lot of problems with their air conditioning. Honda makes great cars, but their air conditioning compressors have always been suspect and remain so this day. So with Chrysler changing what transmissions they put with these diesels, that's a mistake. I'm sure that they decided to go to a cheaper one, and then they didn't like the Aisin ones, so now they've gone to the ZF ones, which is not a good thing when it comes to vehicle manufacturing. If you want quality and reliability, that new V6, it's a diesel engine made in Italy, so that's got one strike against it. Made in Italy. I've had customers with these diesel engines, the V6 Italian ones, they're not happy with them. They just don't hold up over time. Take the early 6-cylinder Cummins diesels in the Rams. Those things could run 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles. They were really bulletproof engines. I've had customers with those V6 EcoDiesels, less than 100,000 miles, and then the engines had problems. Not something you want or expect in a diesel engine. I've had customers with Ford diesel engines. The engines generally go 300,000 or 400,000 miles. Yeah, the transmissions, maybe they go 200 and then you'd have to replace them with the rebuilt ones. But the engines were still going strong. That's the whole point of buying a diesel engine. One that's going to last a really long time. They're very expensive to repair when they do break. A customer of mine that had the EcoDiesel Ram V6, they had engine problems. They wanted them to buy back the vehicle. Now here in the United States, they have the Lemon Law. Dodge wouldn't buy back his truck under the Lemon Law, but they offered him compensation money. Spent all their money on a truck and the engine didn't hold up that well. He didn't want compensation money. He wanted his money back and go buy a Ford truck instead. If your vehicle doesn't meet all the qualifications of the Lemon Law, it can make a diminished Lemon Law where they can offer you cash for compensation that you get to keep the truck and they give you some money. They offered him $3,000 and he was so mad he didn't take it. He just said, I'll never buy another one of their products. Italians, they're not known for making really reliable, long-lasting designs. They never have. Chrysler Fiat, as far as I can read, they're even talking about pulling Fiat out of the United States market entirely. Now, they're still going to sell a bunch of Chrysler cars that have Fiat engines and all kinds of Fiat parts, but the actual line of Fiat cars, They're talking about pulling it out of the United States. Last I checked, Fiat sales in the United States are down 44%. The actual Fiats themselves. So it wouldn't surprise me if Fiat pulls out of the United States again. They pulled out in 1983, and it wouldn't be surprised if they pull out again. The quality's not there, and Americans just aren't going to buy that junk. But here I assume that a lot of potential customers for the Ram EcoDiesel have no idea that these V6 diesel engines they're buying are made in Italy. And if you research anything about these Italian diesel engines, especially the V6s, they've been laden with problems. Like I say, I had a customer with one, the engine started going out, had about 100,000 miles, just under 100,000 miles. Now I might be laughing at it because I have an ironic sense of humor, but if you had bought one of those things, you're not going to be laughing. You're either going to be crying or you're going to get as mad as can be at Fiat Chrysler for putting these Italian-made diesel engines in their big trucks. Now that said, if you get the really big trucks like the 3500, you can still get the big Cummins engine in it. Now, the vehicles themselves do have problems. Some people pick the 3500 Dodge as one of the worst trucks out there, so I'm not saying go out and buy one, but at least it's got a decent engine in it that's going to be able to pull and haul and last. Because sure, you can get horsepower and a lot of torque out of a souped up V6 diesel engine, but hey, if it's an Italian-made diesel engine and you're pulling a lot of weight, putting a lot of stuff in the bed, odds are it's not going to last like a Ford diesel that might go 300,000-400,000 miles. These things can't take it. Now, if you want to get a truck to just puddle around in town in, against the purpose of a diesel in the first place, they can pull stuff. They can haul stuff in the bed. If you're going to get a truck for just tootling around, don't waste your money on a diesel truck. Get a gasoline truck. It costs less, and they're faster. You're not pulling all that weight. You don't care. I've got a customer whose ex-boyfriend owned one with a gasoline engine, and he was such a fanatic, he got mad at her because she threw her horse saddle on the back of his pickup truck bed. He said, "That's gonna scratch my bed." And he wouldn't even haul her saddle. He wanted his bed scratched, you know? She kind of realized he was a nutcase and she left him anyway, so she dumped him. Probably some of it was because he wouldn't let her put the saddle in the bed of his pickup. Well, he had a gasoline engine. It made sense. He was never gonna pull anything, haul anything. He didn't need a diesel engine. But if you want a diesel pickup truck, you want an engine that can pull, that can haul, you don't want one that wears out before it's time. And even though they extended the warranty to 5 years or 100,000 miles, to a true diesel pickup owner, 100,000 miles isn't spit. They want something that's going to go 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 miles. They don't want something that's going to fall apart that quickly for them. Diesel engines are supposed to be stronger. They cost a lot more money to buy for that reason, which is a reason you don't want to buy an Italian diesel engine. It is not going to hold up. From my experience in the past, they have problems because they've been using these engines for the last 6 years. And like I say, if you don't believe me, Google it and you'll see the problems that these V6 EcoDiesel engines have had. To me, it's kind of the same as Fiat. They pulled out of the United States in 1983. Then they come back and it looks like they're going to have to pull their brand out again. Have they gotten any better over the years? No. So why anybody would want to buy a vehicle that had an Italian-sourced diesel engine, it's beyond me. Hey, those Cummins diesel engines were great engines. Why didn't they keep using them? Well, because Fiat bought Chrysler. It's an Italian company, right? Now, of course, Fiat Chrysler merged with Peugeot. I wouldn't be surprised they start using French diesel engines. But I do have to say, from my knowledge of Peugeot, they actually make better diesel engines than the Italians do. Who knows? Maybe 10 years from now, they'll have Rams with Peugeot diesel engines and they're good engines. I don't know, I can't forecast the future that far. I'm just warning you about what's out there now and what not to buy. So now at least you can't say you weren't warned by Scotty if you go out and buy an EcoDiesel and it falls apart before it's time. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.